So you're thinking about moving to Philadelphia, but you're trying to figure out how are you going to get into and out of the city when you don't have a vehicle. Today I'm standing in front of 30th Street Station, which is our major transportation hub for rail. So I'm going to give you a quick little map tour of a couple ways you can go and visit your friend in DC, or go check out New York for the day, or maybe go on a nice vacation. This is Naveed Abrig with Navigator Realty Group. Let's get after it. First time on my channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Philadelphia, the good, the bad, and the ugly, then go ahead and hit subscribe, tap that bell for notifications. That way you'll be one of the first to know anytime I release a new video. I get calls from people like you every day wondering about the Philadelphia real estate market, and I'm here and ready to help. So all my info is linked in the description. Go ahead and call me, text me, email me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
All right, let's get ourselves situated on the map here if you've never seen Philadelphia. Center City, Philadelphia is like right around here. Philadelphia itself consists of a lot more areas. Northeast Philadelphia, you got North Philly, Kensington, Fishtown, Northern Liberties, South Philly, West Philly, University City, all this stuff. Southwest Philadelphia. Anyways, I'll give you one more, Manayunk, Roxborough. Either way, this is Philadelphia. You want to know how are you going to be getting in and out of the city. Real quick, let's zoom in and I'm going to show you, if you didn't see my previous video on public transportation within the city, I'm just going to give you a quick overview. Again, we have two subways, the Broad Street line that goes north-south and the Market Frankford line that goes across the city and then kind of up to Frankfurt Transportation Center. So yeah, there's our two subway systems. We've also got a bunch of buses that run around within the city. But we're trying to figure out right now, how are we getting in and out of the city? A lot of people live in the suburbs, they might live in New Jersey, but they still work in Philadelphia. And how are they doing that without driving a car? We have what is called the regional rail system. That is SEPTA, our public transit has a regional rail system. I will show you a map of that in just a second, but let me just show you the three hotspots that the regional rail drops off at. Here's our dead center of our city, Philadelphia's City Hall. You can't miss William Penn, way up top of City Hall building. Next to it, kind of by Love Park, is Suburban Station. We've also got Jefferson Station, and then our big guy, the Mecca, public transportation hub, that is 30th Street Station. So all the trains that are part of the regional rail will run through these three stations on their way to wherever the heck they're going, coming and going. People will hop off here and maybe they'll hop on the Market Frankford line. Maybe they'll take a bus, maybe they'll walk to work. There's tons of businesses all over. Comcast on JFK 16th, Comcast buildings over here. You've got all the hospitals down in University City. That's actually another stop right there. Penn Medicine that people get off at. Then yeah, businesses all over the place. So those are the major stations. Let me show you real quick what the map looks like, because it's just a little bit too hard for me to show you how extensive the regional rail system is. Here are those two that we were talking about from my previous video, the Market Frankford line and the Broad Street line. There are a lot of other colors here, but I want you to focus on this color, the thin blue line. That's the regional rail system. So it's going up, out into all these, whoops, copy image, out into all these suburban areas with plenty of stops along the way. And it is cheap. I think it's no more than $10, maybe even less than that, to go the entire way. If you get monthly passes and stuff like that, obviously it's going to be a little bit cheaper. But it's everywhere. Regional rail will get you wherever you want to go. For people that live in New Jersey, you can connect up with the PATCO line. The PATCO line has a few stops in Philly, 15th and Locust, 13th and Locust, 10th and Locust, 8th and Market. And then it hops over to New Jersey. This is Camden County area of New Jersey where this hooks up. So if you live just over the other side of the bridge and you work in Philadelphia, you can still get yourself to and fro. Let's say you wanted to get a little bit farther. We're talking, in this example, to Atlantic City. you're hopping on an Amtrak from 30th Street Station and you're getting yourself all the way to Atlantic City. Have yourself a nice weekend, gambling, drinking, or just enjoying the beach, whatever you're going to do there. Besides that, if we're at the 30th Street Station, we've got tons of different lines that go in and out of this station. You're talking all the way up to Boston, all the way down to Miami, for pretty affordable prices. If you're looking at stuff that's traveling within the next couple weeks, you can get up to New York for $20. It's the same pricing as like airlines, so as tickets start to disappear, the prices start to go up, supply and demand. So you want to buy tickets early if you're looking at these options, but it's never going to cost you more than like $80 to get up to New York. And we're talking an hour and 15 minutes on some of the trains to get up to the city. Same with DC, you may be looking a little bit closer to like 2 hours. But the options are there to travel wherever the heck you want to. Let's just go to our Amtrak and do a quick search. Penn Station. So I picked a couple weeks out, looking for just seeing what the fares are like. So yeah, 20, 30, business class, 129. And look, we're getting there in an hour and 17 minutes, hour 16 minutes. We change our destination, a little bit different direction. We go to Washington, D.C., looking for them trains. Same thing, 20-something bucks, $100. Again, pricing fluctuates, but yeah, we're closer to 2 hours to get to D.C. We can even go all the way to Florida, $160. Not as many options, takes 30 hours, but $160. If you wanted to go by train to Miami, Florida, you can do it for $160. Funny thing is, it's probably a hell of a lot cheaper. It is a hell of a lot cheaper to get there flying. It's like $60, $70. But if you don't like flying and you got 30 hours on your hands, go ahead and take a train. If you're not so much into spending the money that it costs to take the Amtrak, they kind of camp out here nowadays. They've always moved where their stations are. But we're talking about Megabus. Used to have Bolt Bus too, but they disappeared. I think maybe Flixbus has tried to take over. But Megabus, those buses, they take you to the same destinations, but now you're at the mercy of traffic. Not like a train where it's on schedule and you know it's going to arrive when it's going to arrive. But those are a lot cheaper. I think I looked up our Megabus to New York. It's like $15. So if you're into that, they're pretty cool. They got charging stations. The Flixbus, I think they play movies and stuff like that. So that's that. All right, so if you're talking about really getting out of town, now we're talking about getting to the airports. That is one of the regional rail lines that we saw down here, going down to the airport. The airport is not far away from Center City. You could take an Uber. You can have a friend drop you off. The airport is just right down here. But again, you see train lines going all the way to Center City. And it's like $8 to get there. The other airport that people use often from the Philadelphia airport is the Newark airport, EWR. I'm going to type that in there just so we can see it. But if you look up EWR, it's way up here in New Jersey, Newark. But again, you can get there from Philadelphia via train, 30th Street Station, in not that long at all. I think it takes like an hour and a half. If I wanted to do directions from 30th Street Station, you'll see that says 3 hours, but don't trust that because it's 11:45 at night. But let's say we're going to go tomorrow at like 10 a.m. There you go. It's an hour and a half. Don't quote me on a price, but I think that's the regional rail. It's going to be less than $10. So you're going to get to your airport. And why would you go all the way to EWR, you ask? Because sometimes it's just a hell of a lot cheaper. I did a search just before starting these recordings because we flew out of EWR for our honeymoon when we went to Greece this last summer. And it was a hell of a lot cheaper. And it was nonstop. I picked a date, June 8th, just to do a little comparison. We're, in this example, going out of Philadelphia, going into Athens. And this is what we ended up with. $700 something bucks. one-way travel. And they're shitty flights. You get 19 hours, 20 hours. By the time you get to the non-stops, you're paying $1,400. Now, if we check out what it's like from Newark, which is a fine airport, actually pretty nice airport. They've got all those iPads that you order food and drink on and all that jazz. But look at this. Same date, nonstop flight overnight, $677. Even if you're not getting these flights that are nonstop, as you scroll down, the shittier flights, they're still in the 600s. They don't get up to the, look how much I'm scrolling. They don't get up to $1,400. So you got to just do your research when you're looking to travel and figure out where's the best airport for you to go out of. But really, your options are endless. Your opportunity is there to go from wherever you want. Do not feel like if you move to Philadelphia without a car that you're not going to be able to go anywhere. You're going to be stranded, because it's just not the case. All right, if you haven't checked out my video on how to get around within the city, then go ahead and check that one out next.
If there's anything else you want to know about Philadelphia, the housing market, anything at all, go ahead, contact me. All my stuff's in the description. Call me, text me, email me, and I'll get right back to you. This has been David Haberg with Navigator Realty Group, signing out.